7th like you're supposed to. Hello and welcome to Old Faithful. I'm your host, Matt Trask. My thanks to Perfect Wave Production, Steve and Jay down here making us look fabulous. My thanks to other people. Please support Black Hills Blend Espresso. I am so incredibly excited, as I am every week, to have this guy here, who I'm at 12 years old, I'm already slightly jealous of. This may be a shorter episode because he only has 12 years of life experience, but I hope I'm wrong about that. And we got 3 guitars and 3 amps. Mr. Bodhi Linde, how are you?
Good.
Did I say your name right?
Yes.
So this is the part of I need to point at the microphone so they catch my golden tone. This is the part of the show where I ask about you. So you just tell me about you.
Yeah, so, like my influences and stuff, I used to listen when I was younger. I used to listen to a lot.
Like
I
6?
used to listen to a lot. Yeah, like 6 or 5. My dad was a huge punk rock fan, so we listened to a lot of punk rock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, what were some of the punk rockers that you listened to?
Like Fugazi, Jawbreaker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
People I've only barely heard of. Sure. And so then you played a little rag or reel in the beginning of the show,
yeah.
which is not punk.
Yes,
So
it is
tell
not.
us
It is
about
not punk.
How you got into thumb picking.
So it all kind of started. I went to a bluegrass show and I saw someone playing a mandolin.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I was like, for my birthday, I'm going to ask for a mandolin. And so I ended up getting a Rogue mandolin for my birthday. And so then I started playing mandolin. It was fun, but I kind of got bored of it. I went to a bluegrass festival open mic with it, and so that was fun. And then at the open mic that I went to, I saw someone playing the banjo. And actually, a year before that, my mom had gotten a banjo for a birthday present. I was like, oh, that's really cool, so I'm going to start trying to play the banjo. So then I started playing the banjo. I enjoyed it. I played it for my elementary talent show. And so...
Here's a kid who's not afraid to get picked on, played a banjo at an elementary talent show. So
yes.
Then our instrument has gotten bigger. I noticed that mandolin you have there has gotten a lot bigger.
Yes, it
so
has.
Then
It
what
has.
happened?
So then, I played the banjo for, I would say, around a year and a half, and then I went to they used to have a thing at I can't remember which brewery it was, but they used to have a bluegrass meetup. I don't think they're having it anymore. Like where you would improvise over, like they would play different bluegrass songs and stuff. And so they played a few songs in weird keys, and I was like, and I had played around with the guitar a little bit, and I was like, Dad, can I borrow your guitar? Because he had his guitar there. And then I played that, and I was pretty much hooked from there.
I see.
And so I started off finger picking because I had played the banjo.
Right.
So that's kind of what I was used to. So then after that, we were played at another talent show. We played at another talent show. My mom sang, and we did the song Fast Car.
Oh.
Yeah, and so that's pretty much the first song. That's pretty much the first song that I learned.
The Tracy Chapman song.
Yes, yeah.
Which is neither punk nor bluegrass. But that's a good song. We all love that song.
Yeah.
So one question, I'm looking at your picking hand. You don't have any finger or thumb picks.
No.
Did you use them on the banjo?
Yes, I did.
You did. But then when you switched to guitar, you let them go?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't like them on guitar? I don't either.
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes I will occasionally play with finger picks to get faster because, like, me and James Van Nuys do a few fiddle tunes where it gets pretty fast.
He and James Van Nuys do a few fiddle tunes. Sure. Yeah.
So essentially, I need the finger picks to get faster because or else your fingers catch when you try to play with just your fingers.
Okay.
So sometimes I do use finger picks, but not very often.
Not very often. Okay. Well, I am just loving this show already. We've got a young man cutting his teeth on bluegrass at a brewery. This is the start of an excellent country song someday right here. Dad, you got to be proud. Special thanks and welcome to our in-studio audience. That's okay. Dan Linde had to bring Bodhi down because I presume you don't have a driver's license yet.
No.
Okay. So back to guitars. So we're going to talk about this one, I guess, right now. Tell us about this guitar.
Yeah, so this is a Schecter Ultra 3. I really like it. It's a great guitar to gig with. It has 3 Filtertron pickups and a Bigsby, so
Awesome.
it has all the features, lots of different tones that you can get out of it. And when we were looking at getting this one, I used to have a Gretsch Electromatic. It was kind of like a Duojet, if you've ever seen those. It was like one of those, and it had a Bigsby and 2 Filtertrons.
Right.
And then we had ended up selling that one to get another guitar.
We had an Electromatic on the show very recently. So we should be familiar with it. Go back and watch the Josh Shepard episode.
Yeah. It wasn't hollow body. But it was just chambered.
Sure.
It was just chambered. It was a double cut. And so this kind of reminded me of that.
Right.
So we plugged it in and it sounded good.
Right.
So
where did you get it?
We found it at a pawn shop.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For
So this somehow is the first Schecter on the show, I believe. Schecter Guitars was started in Van Nuys, California. Mm-hmm. Van Nuys, California, as kind of a super strat modding shop.
Yeah.
And then they began making and building their own guitars. They made the PT, which was short for Pete Townsend. It was a Telecaster.
Yeah.
And then subsequently they kind of got into rock and punk style guitars, and they became the working man Schecter. And this here Ultra 2?
Ultra 3, because it has three pickups.
Okay, sure, gotcha.
And so this one is not your normal Schecter.
Right.
Yeah, because normal Schecters are like shreddy style guitars, and this is more of a rockabilly. I think they make another different model that's like a Gretsch that is hollow body. That's pretty much like a Gretsch.
They have a few kind of rockabilly guitars.
Yeah, they have a few rockabilly.
Visually, it's kind of a mashup of a Jazzmaster and a Gibson Firebird.
Yes.
It's really cool looking.
Yes.
And I think this is the first guitar on the show with what is called a German carve on the top. The slight bevel around the edge is called a German carve, and that's quite a bit cheaper to produce than a hand carved like on a Gibson archtop. So, very, very cool. And it's got 3 pickup selectors. Is that the position you mostly play in?
So, I usually like to play in either this pickup on.
Okay.
Just normal, or these 2 pickups on. I'll occasionally use the middle pickup.
Okay.
And then the interesting thing is you can turn all of them off.
Right.
That's the middle. And then you can also do a coil split, which is what this is. It's not as loud as the normals. Yeah, it's a coil split.
It splits all of them?
No, it just splits that one. So you can have one normal Filtertron and then one coil split to get more of like a Stratty or a Tele sound. Mm-hmm. So that's
just a plethora of options on your Schecter Ultra 3.
Yes.
I'm so glad you brought this guitar. Tell us about the amplifier that you're playing through today.
So this is a PV Classic 30 that I obtained. I think we got it through Craigslist.
Oh.
And we had been looking for a PV tube amp because I used to have a PV solid state modeling amp.
Right.
Can't remember what model it was, but we ended up selling that one. And then we bought this one. And we have just been looking for one. And my dad was like, if one pops up locally, then we can get it for a decent price,
Right.
And so the next day, sure enough, one popped up on Craigslist. So we went, I think we met the guy at he worked at a hearing aid shop. So that was...
I love this story.
Yes.
Keep going.
It's very interesting. So yeah, we met him at a hearing aid shop, a super nice guy. He said that his wife had gotten it because they played in a band that went around to nursing homes.
Oh, okay.
And she had gotten it, I think, to play guitar through. And she said it was just too heavy to carry.
Right.
So they ended up selling it and getting a different, I think, solid state amp.
Oh, yeah.
So then this one ended up in our hands. So
Sure.
It's been a really great guitar amp. It has lots of tonal possibilities. It has a dirty channel that sounds amazing, and it has a boost.
Okay.
So that's really nice.
Sure.
And it's pan reverb. You can actually hook up a foot switch to turn the reverb on and off.
Right. Awesome.
Which is nice if you're doing like going from a surf song to like a jazz song where you wouldn't want reverb.
Yes. So the Classic 30 would be about 30 watts, something like a Hot Rod Deluxe, a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe.
Yeah. It's we were looking at getting a Blues Deluxe actually.
Sure. Yeah.
That's kind of, it's a little smaller than a Blues Deluxe.
Okay.
Easier to carry.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's worked out.
Do you know right off the top of your head what size of speakers in it?
12.
It's a 12.
Yeah, it's a 12.
12.
I believe it's a 12. And we actually had a little bit of issues with the tubes rattling.
Yeah.
With like tube rattle. So we ended up replacing the tubes, and it just gave it a whole new sound. So that was really good. It sounded better with new tubes in it.
And you like the new sound?
Yeah,
better.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. Awesome. Let's move on to the next guitar. You brought a T-style.
Yes, I did.
Awesome. Which is fitting because although you're not going to play it on the show, you have a composition that you wrote, I think, all about T-style guitars, don't you? Why don't you take it down?
So this is, this has an interesting story. I have a song called If You're Gonna Play Country, Then You Gotta Have a Telly.
Right.
But all I got is a Strat. So I had an old Strat that I used to play country, so I was like, let's write a song about it, because we watched a whole bunch of like chicken picking country compilations, and there was not every guitar on there was a Telly.
Right.
So we were like, oh, let's make this would be an interesting song idea.
Right.
And so I think we have 2 Telecasters currently. We have this one, this one actually used to be a Glary.
Okay.
So this used to be a Glary. And so it was kind of like a test guitar to see if it was what we wanted. So we have a Big Lou wide nut neck. So it's a 2-inch neck because I really like classical wide necks.
Okay.
So we put a Big Lou wide nut neck on it. And we actually, this humbucker came from a Les Paul, an Epiphone Les Paul studio that we had.
Okay.
We put P90s in that one. It was for it was our busking guitar. So yeah. So we put P90s in this one, and we took the humbuckers out of that, and we were like, oh, we should use this humbucker for this Telly. And we ended up keeping the bridge pickup, and then we put this Bigsby on it. And then we're currently in the process of trying to make a B-bender with this Bigsby. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So here's another topic we can talk about. You and I presume your dad have gotten very far into guitar modifications.
Yes. We actually have made two guitars so far.
Really?
One we like to call Goldilocks. We took a neck off of an old Peavey, I think. And we used that neck. And then we made a body that was completely made for comfort. It doesn't look very good. The body design doesn't look very good, but it's very comfortable to have it sit in your lap.
Right.
And then it has a glitter gold finish on it with a single P90 in the neck.
I want to see this. I want a picture of it, Bodhi. So, getting somewhat technical, if you could turn that around so the back is to the camera for 1 second. This way. Excuse me, Fender style guitars have bolt-on necks, and so they fit the neck to go in the neck pocket. So my question is, you can turn it back around now.
Yeah.
You put this wide nut neck on it. Did you
Yeah.
have to carve either the neck or the neck pocket?
Yes, so we did have to carve it. You can see that the neck's actually sticking out on that side, and you can see a little bit of the carve right
By
there.
golly, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we carved this out. And the other Telecaster that we have is actually a guitar that we made out of barnwood.
Hey.
So basically what we took is we took some plywood, and then we have a family farm, and we found 2 planks of barnwood.
Right.
And so we did a diagonal pattern of these 2 planks across the top, and then we put then we put something like this, and then a neck Telecaster pickup in it, like a lipstick style pickup.
Okay.
And it doesn't have a pick guard, and it looks pretty sweet. And you have this style, and then we actually rusted all the metal. It looks really cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So 2 things. I hope the cows made it through the recent cold snap, being you took their barn. And 2, Bodhi, can I come to your house? So that's very cool.
Yeah.
Does this one stay in tune with all the modification? Does it do okay?
It actually does surprisingly well.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, good for you. We better get to this third guitar here.
Yes.
I'm excited about every guitar on my show. What's that? 12 minutes. Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I am told that this is your baby here.
Yes, this
Tell
is
us
my baby.
all about this guitar right here.
So this is a Harmony classical guitar from 50s or 60s, I believe. It's a model 772, I believe. The stickers inside is pretty funny. It says custom built Harmony classical guitar. And
That's
says-
like premium green beans at the grocery store.
yeah.
Means almost nothing.
And then it has a special notice sticker inside. This guitar is designed for use with gut or nylon strings. Do not use steel strings.
Well, that's probably because it probably doesn't have a truss rod in it.
Yes,
I'm
it
guessing.
does not. It does not have a truss rod.
So
in
steel
it.
strings would snap the neck eventually.
So then what we did to this guitar is we put a. You can see here we put more of our modifications.
Oh by golly!
Yeah,
look
we
at
put
there.
a preamp. We put a preamp in there, and then we actually glued the pickup. You can see right here. We hot glued it to the top, right next to the bridge.
You 2 are getting pretty good at redneck modifications. I like it. Well done.
Yeah, and so basically, the thing about this guitar is, this is probably the most played guitar that I have. Like, I've played it. This is the one that I play the most.
Sure.
And this is the guitar that I write all my songs on. Like,
Cool.
Every single one of my songs that I've written in at least 6 months has been written on this guitar. So.
Awesome. Do you remember where we got it?
Yeah, so the interesting story is, it was on Facebook Marketplace. It was like a crazy fluke deal, like $20 or something.
Right.
Yeah, and so we got it, and we were actually thinking of putting a preamp in another classical guitar that we had.
Oh.
And then Dad was like, "Oh, maybe this one will work for it." And so then when we got it, he was like, "Oh, this one actually worked for it." So we ended up making the modification, and it plays amazingly. I really like the playability on it. The neck is great, so.
Awesome. So 2 things. Number 1, it's a harmony. I'm always excited about harmonies on the show. Very briefly, because 5 minutes ago we had 12 minutes left. When I started playing left-handed, the first guitar I bought was a harmony, like a melted SG looking thing, for $75 at Marbo Music and Archery in Schecter, Nebraska, where they play the William Tell Overture on repeat all day long. And 2, this, I believe, is the first classical guitar. So most of them don't have truss rods, and they're nylon string guitars. another kind of thumb-picking institution. Chet Atkins and Jerry Reed use them quite a bit. Willie Nelson, he plays the classical guitar, and more recently, Zach Brown of the Zach Brown Band played the classical guitar until he went absolutely nuts, which he did recently. Do we have anything else to talk about before you play my favorite song?
So, yeah, this guitar, reason they're called classical guitars is because they're mainly used to play like classical songs, like different Spanish style classical songs that are played finger style.
Right.
I don't think there's anyone that uses a pick to play classical. And usually on nylon strings, you don't play with a pick. You usually just use your fingers. And Chet Atkins mainly played with either his Gretsch signature models or Gretsch's, or he played with classical, mainly Godins.
Right.
Yeah. And actually, the interesting story is I actually have a Godin classical guitar, and I really like it. So.
Cool. But this is still your baby.
Yeah, this is
the $20 Facebook Harmony guitar. I love that story. That's what we're all about here on Old Faithful. I'm going to thank my sponsors and stuff, and then you can play my favorite song. Remember to support Trask Hay LLC. I don't know why I said it that way. 515-0858, large, round, and square bales. Chet Atkins says, change your strings. Ladies and gentlemen, Bodhi Linde, I don't care about your friend request.
Yeah, so this is a song that I wrote called I Don't Care About Your Friend Request. So fun, the whole darn world has come undone. I don't care about your friend request. Twittergram and the Reddit, all those things, I just don't get it. I don't care about your friend request. Play so hard my fingers bleed, a strat and amp is all I need. It's almost like I'm the star of my own dream. Think about it all the time, there's nothing else running through my mind. All these tunes busting through the seams. I know I'm different from the rest, but there's one thing I must confess. Still don't care about your friend request. I'll turn on my new PV. I don't care about your friend request. Smartphones, they're so lame. Got time roads running through my brain. I don't care about your friend request. Play so hard my fingers bleed. A strat and amp is all I need. It's almost like I'm a star of my own dream. Think about it all the time. There's nothing else running through my mind. All these tunes busting through the seams. I know I'm different from the rest, but there's one thing I must confess. Still don't care about your friend request. Be up on the stage, turn me away because of my age. I don't care about your friend request. Don't think I have the skill, David Sachs will pay the bill. I don't care about your friend request. Play so hard my fingers bleed, a strat and amp is all I need. It's almost like I'm a star of my own dream. Think about it all the time, there's nothing else running through my mind. All these tunes busting through the seams. I know I'm different from the rest, but there's one thing I must confess. Still don't care about your friend request.
Jody.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, man.